Hello and welcome to the Get Sculpted podcast. I'm Marilyn and I've got Jordana and Tiana here with me today. And we're pumped to get into today's topic because it is something that hits so close to home with the women in our community specifically. And we're pretty sure it's going to feel the same for you. But before we jump in, I want to set a scene, okay? It is 6:47 a.m. on a Saturday. You've been up since 5 a.m. You've packed the hockey bag, you have filled the water bottles, you've got a bag of cut up oranges, granola bars, you've got Gatorade, everything's ready for the kids on the bench. You're driving to the arena with a coffee in one hand because there was no time for breakfast, and you tell yourself that you're going to grab something at the rink. Maybe a muffin, maybe a bagel, maybe nothing at all. You have planned every detail of your kids' morning, and you have forgotten yourself completely. This is what we are calling sports mom syndrome. And it's not just hockey moms. It is dance moms, baseball moms, soccer moms, gymnastics moms, lacrosse moms, you name it. Really, it's any woman, even if you're an aunt, a grandmother, a caregiver, any woman cheering everyone else on from the sidelines while you are sitting there running on empty. We hate to be the ones to break it to you, but pouring everything you've got into your kids is not proof that you are a great mom or caregiver. What it means is that you've adopted the idea that to be a good mom, you need to disappear. And that version of you is exhausted and depleted, and you're last on your own list. And that is actually what your kids do not need. They need you feeling whole, not what's left over. So today we are speaking directly to you, the woman who spends hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on sports fees, but won't invest that kind of money in yourself. The woman who has every single weekend from now until the fall booked with tournaments, competitions, and all the things. The woman who knows her child's dance schedule by heart, but can't remember the last time she did something for herself. The woman who eats off her kid's plate because she didn't pack anything for herself. And especially the woman who keeps saying that she'll focus on herself. When this season is over, we are going to break things down for you into 3 parts. We're going to talk about why moms and caregivers erase themselves and what that is actually costing you. We're going to talk about the identity trap of being hockey mom or dance mom and what your kids are actually seeing when they watch you. And the last thing is the practical tip, because we always love leaving you with that, and real examples from our clients who are actually making this work with full schedules and zero extra time. They are making it work, and we're going to tell you how. So girls, are you ready to kick this one off?
It's a goodie. I love this
Yeah,
one.
very relatable for sure.
And I actually just came off of a weekend away for almost 4 days at a dance competition. So this is like really raw. No, because you know what? I knew we were recording, and no judgment, but I just kind of sat back with like curiosity and watched the behaviors. So I think this is like top of mind for me right now. So Jord, let's talk about why so many women default to being last on their list. Let's talk about that.
Like we're not choosing to be last. It's like we've been conditioned to be that way. And we've seen it in so many different scenarios play out. We've seen it when we were growing up with our moms. We've seen it play out in television and movies and on social media and all kinds of things. And the whole idea is like, you don't deserve to take care of yourself. Like you're supposed to be a martyr for motherhood. And that's, become like part of your identity of like who you become to be a good mom. And the standard out there, quote unquote, is that good moms sacrifice everything, including themselves. And it's been modeled for generations, and it bleeds into every caregiver role, regardless of whether you are the mom or anybody who's playing that type of role within the family. Right. And it's like the whole idea is like women are getting praised for the level at which they can sacrifice themselves in order to be that good mom and really not giving anything back to themselves. Like the reward system that we've like self-imposed is to actually create further self-erasure. And so like that's when self-care actually then starts to be interpreted as being selfish, because you've spent so much time giving to everybody else that the second you want to take something back for yourself, it's like, wait a second. Everybody starts to push back. Wait, you want to spend time on yourself? Wait, you want to eat differently than what we've been doing for so long? Wait, you want to be healthy? Hold on, you don't get to think about those things because you're too busy thinking about my things. And that's the way we've really like set it up. And so like you end up thinking that you taking care of yourself ends up being like you're then not doing enough for everybody else because you've recategorized some of that time, right?
I think a lot of this is self-inflicted too, in my opinion. Like, do you guys think? I think it's in people's minds as opposed to like my kids, for example. I'm just thinking, I literally asked them the other day, I'm like, hey, is it okay with you if I work out? And I was jokingly like, am I a bad mom for doing that? And they're like, no. They're like, obviously not.
They've grown up in a home where that's part of the identity,
the norm.
right? The norm. But like, think in those other types of homes where that's never been the norm, or like you have generations of moms that didn't get that chance to be like, wait a second, I get to take care of myself. And I find women of like our age demographic, like 30s and 40s, they're waking up being like, hold on a second, I don't have to do it the way that my mom or my grandma did. Like, I can do it differently. And so they're like the first line of defense to breaking this, you know, mindset, this like global mindset shift on motherhood.
Yeah.
And you're still a good mom. That's the thing.
That's right.
You're actually a better mom.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Right?
I know. I remember one time my therapist I said something like, you know what? I don't know those moms who get home and they just make their kids food even though they're starving. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, and then she's like, well, did you feed your kids? I'm like, of course I did. And she's like, then good, feed yourself first. I'm like, yeah, that was a good reframe.
Exactly.
Like things are going to go a lot better, you know?
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, you end up being so depleted when you're in this mindset. You have physical reactions to being in this mindset. Like that chronic depletion means that you have elevated cortisol levels. It's going to disrupt your sleep and it's going to downregulate your metabolism. And so if you're continuously running on empty, you can't even start to optimize anything because you're like, I'm going to go do a workout, but I'm too tired. Of course you're too tired because all of the other, like you're not addressing the bigger symptom. And so when you are this level of depleted, you have to start working a little bit differently. Like you have to be a little bit more patient with yourself. You have to follow through and your sense of self ends up being last, right? So I guess like the main message here is like your kids don't need a more devoted mom or caregiver. Like you're already operating at that level. They need someone who's not running on empty because the moment you see yourself full, they experience what a full, energetic, happy mom feels like. It's going to be a whole other level of motherhood that you haven't quite experienced yet. Because girls, tell me how often you've heard this. Like I've heard it from clients, like they don't want to admit it. And I've even felt this way back in the day. Like you get to a level of like where you feel a little bit resentful of, you know, I'm taking care of everybody else, but what about me? Or I've done everybody else's stuff, but like, I don't get to do this. Or I've invested all of this money into their things, but there's nothing left for me. And you hear it time and time again. And it's just, it's not fun and it's not fulfilling. And it's not helping you be the best version of yourself. No. Like you're giving everybody else literally
all of you.
Yeah, what's left. Like you're running on empty. Have you guys heard this from clients or friends or experienced it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, here's the reality. I think like so many women, because T, you said it's self-inflicted, right? And so I totally agree. I think though that we operate in this like environment though where the pressure is there. So for some women, they don't even realize it. But I always say like everybody has a breaking point, whether it's this or something else. Like we cannot tolerate things indefinitely. So what ends up happening is one of two things or both. You end up becoming miserable, resentful, angry. What have we heard? Mean mom. I don't want to be mean mom anymore. I don't want to snap. And or your body does all the things you just described. So you're feeling like garbage, you're exhausted, you're depleted. And so you're either ignoring all of those things and just like keeping the peace, or you get to your breaking point. And neither of those are good for you or your family.
Agreed. And I actually have kind of a funny story about my mom. Hi, Mom. She actually went on strike when I was like 12 or 13 years old. She was like, guys, I'm done. Like literally, she like sat us all
from
down.
Being a mom.
Yeah, she's like, as a mom, I'm formally delivering you my strike notice. I am doing nothing for the next 2 weeks. You're going to make your own meals. You're going to do your own laundry. You're responsible for cleaning. Like I am off duty, literally off duty. And it was like, I still remember those couple of weeks. I was like, oh my God, this is hard. Like she actually does a lot. And I think it was a good lesson because when she came back on duty later, you're like, Mom, please come back. Don't be on strike anymore. And she did. We're all like playing a different role because we also, I think as moms think that we have to do all the things because other people aren't going to do them as well as we do. Right. And that's, you know, perfectionism mindset and, you know, all of that sort of thing. People are far more capable than we give them credit for, right?
You have to just give them a chance. You have to throw them in.
Yes.
Like, and I tell myself all the time, I'm type A, but I have to let myself be a type B mom.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like literally sometimes do you know how many times I find like inside out pants and undies and socks in
It is
random
what it
places?
is.
I know. And I'm like, if it's either this or like I'm getting my workout in and not putting this away, then it's going to be the workout.
The trade-off is so worth
That's okay.
it.
It is.
Yeah.
Like you'd let yourself, if you're type A, like I know, like with everything else, maybe you can only give that so much. Don't be afraid to, be type B in other areas.
That's right. And let's think about
that.
it. Like kids are kids. So it's like, if you're not calling them to task, if you're not having them participate or contribute, they're not going to. Like, no kid is going to be like, can I please help you make that? Can I please help you clean? So I think that's the thing. We model the behavior. That's another part of this conversation, right? Whether it's like daughters or sons, I always lean toward daughters just because we are a very like female family, but it's like they're watching you as well. So what is that message that you're telling them, right? So give your family an opportunity to step up before you get to that point where you're at your breaking point. Give your family a chance to step up. Maybe it's not a full strike, going on strike, but like, you know what? I'm going to do this, so I need you to do this. Full stop, right?
I love that. And it can happen at any age. And so like T, I'd love for you to walk us through like, what is this identity shift? Like, how do we get stuck and how do we get unstuck?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It is identity, because I always tell myself this. It's like, if it were logistical, that would never be the issue, because if someone had a gun to your head and said, prioritize yourself, you would find a way to do it. It's correct. Like, these women who are doing this are obviously like high performers. They have careers. Their children are in sports. They want the best for their kids. It's just a matter of like finding that same purpose for themselves. So it's like, it's making the conscious decision of like, this does matter, instead of like leaving the crumbs for yourself, because that's really the reframe. Because it's like if someone said like, hey, I'm super busy and I'm just going to stop showering for a while until things die down. Hopefully you wouldn't. Most of us would be like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't care how busy I am. I'm going to find a way and a time and a place to shower and take care of my... This is literally, you think of it like personal hygiene. It's what it is. Yep. It's like, it's part of your routine. It's not a matter of if I'm going to do it, it's how am I going to do it? So it's like, I just made a post about this the other day. Like, my husband and I have never fallen off completely from our fitness routine. And the reason is like, we just have this motto, which is like, we don't abandon, we modify. So, and I think that a lot of the time when someone's trying to build momentum as a dance mom or hockey mom or these very like demanding sports, they're almost like, in their mind, they're like, okay, well, my kids have these sports. I'm totally committed to that. I'm committed to the early mornings, the drives, the prep. But because that's important, it's just, they can't apply that same mindset to themselves, because in their mind, they're like, is this important enough? Right. So I think that's really the main thing is, number one, like, it's not about like carving out a time to make this important when the season dies down, because life doesn't work that way. Like, nope. What are you going to do? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, my nieces are very involved with dance. So like, this is very close to home for me. And it's always like the next thing, right? It's like whack-a-mole, because you think this is going to be over. This dance season is going to be over. Well, then guess what? It's dance workshops. It's this, it's flying to Europe to go compete. It's da-da-da. So one thing ends, but another thing takes its place. And sometimes like three things take its place. So you will be waiting forever.
And you're not considering on top of that, the regular schedule, the work schedule, someone getting sick, the holidays, the seasonal changes, the back to school, the curveballs of life.
Why adapt to like things in a perfect little bubble when you don't live in a perfect little bubble?
No, never.
And that's the thing. I've heard this all the time, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to wait for like this and that to end. But you have to just make the decision. That's it. And then follow through with that decision. And then another one too is like the age of the kids, right? Because it's like, when they're young, yes, you're in the sports, but then it's like, oh, on another note too, it's talking about like the investment, because even if they're out of the house, it's like, oh, but they're in university. I hear this all the time, but it's like, at a certain point, it's like, you have to stop thinking of the time and investment in yourself as like coming all these things. It's like you live your life. Like, the moment you became a mom, amplifying what you're doing for yourself didn't end. And that's kind of how I think of it. Is like, I'm always been my own person. I just happen to also be a mom. And I remember, I think it's because I had my first son like relatively young. I don't know, but I always kind of thought like, well, I'm not done living my life. Like, I'm only, at the time I was like 25, and now I'm like, man, I'm in my 30s. Like, I got a lot of living to do. Like, I want to be fit and feel amazing, right? Like, I just think I don't want to live a sad life where like, if I put myself second, it's only going to be harder to put myself first. So did you guys go through any of that? Well, Mary, I know you have nieces, but if you can speak to that.
I mean, Jordan, you can go ahead. I see it with clients, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. There was like phases of motherhood where I felt like I was putting myself second or third or last or whatever the pyramid was. But it was like temporary, because as soon as I caught it slipping for a bit, I was like, this doesn't feel good. Like, I feel worse. I'm more tired. I'm resentful. I'm like, this isn't fun, you know? And so there was always like a recalibration that had to happen. And I'm a mom of one, you know? So that can still happen because it's not always even just the kids. It's like your relationships. It's like responsibilities with the rest of the family. So like the dynamic grows when you have that attitude and mindset and point of view applied to one area, which in this case is the sports mom mode. You are likely applying that in every other area too. And so like that recalibration needs to happen, and it can be really hard, and it's hard for me. It was hard for me, but it was hard for everybody else to adjust to that too. And so there was it felt like almost like a little bit of a tug of war for a bit until the recalibration completed. And then it was like, no, this is just how it is, guys. Like,
that's right.
Well, that's the thing. Every new season, you require a little bit of a reset.
Yeah,
you're like,
that's right.
okay, now, and that's a good thing to talk about in this topic in particular, is like if your kids are relatively new to the sports, you might have felt like you didn't realize how much it's going to consume your life, and that makes it harder. But what we all want to encourage you with specifically is that like, don't wait for it to get easier or less busy. Like it's about finding a way to adapt that actually makes this realistic. And I would even argue that like, if you're guiding your child through like team sports or supporting them, and you have a career, you're a mom, like you're doing all these things, you already have excellent time management skills. Like that's no news for moms. So I think like once we give ourselves like that reframe of, I got to put myself in that time management, like I got to come first, then you can actually make it work way better than anyone else. Cause you're like, okay, it's a matter of how.
Yeah.
And again, like it's also like the reframing of, I really want to highlight the money piece as well. Cause I think this is something I hear from prospective clients as well. I just talked to someone who's like, yeah, like I really want to do this, but like my son's starting university. And I'm like, great. But like, where do you fit in with prioritizing yourself? Cause your kid is university age and you've never prioritize yourself, and now it's like it's just going to be another thing, you know. It's like, okay, now I'm a grandma, now I got to help here, now I got to, okay, now, you know, there's nothing left for me, and I'm in this last season of my life, and when is it me season? So I've seen this with my clients a lot. And one of my clients who came back on with me after like 7 years, she's in her mid 60s, and she said, you know what, Tiana, I raised my 3 kids, I have my grandkids now, and eventually I'm just like, it's time for me. Like it's never going to be like the heaven doors open up and it's like, okay, great, like spend the money now. It's like, you got to make that decision. This is worth it. And then when I'm amplifying my own personal fitness and like just how I feel about myself, it's not even about looking or feeling good for anyone else. You're going to bring more of the best version of yourself. So
it's true. And if you think about the investment, like what are the trade-offs that you might want to consider in order to invest in yourself while you're also investing in your child's activities? Think about how much money you're going to save when you're eating the food you prepped and brought, as opposed to like, you know, the vendor stuff or the restaurants and all of that stuff. Like there are things that you're not thinking about in terms of the trade-off that's going to actually make it easier for you.
Well, yeah, I just talked to someone actually, and she was saying like, this is super important. I just don't feel great in my skin. And then, you know, basically saying like, hey, I renovated my house, this and that. Like the money's there for a lot of people, right? You're just spending it and prioritizing it in different ways.
Well,
and it's almost like, oh, I have to spend money on me. All of a sudden, this is like a $0 situation.
A no-go.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I want to tell you girls something interesting. So I actually very coincidentally had a conversation with my therapist about this recently. Okay. What she calls the epidemic of burnout in women that she sees. Okay. So long story short, she was saying that women have never in history been more taxed, more burnt out, more stressed, like just miserable. Like we are operating in just like autopilot. Okay. So she said that a lot of the women that she has on her caseload, like they'll come in, they'll tell her about all these things. And always the money and the time comes up about like, you know, and these women are often moms. So she basically said that she has started saying to them, like, well, why do you have to have your kids in all these things? Like basically getting them to, this is not the life you actually have to live. So she has said, like, kind of like you said, like reallocate it. Like, what can you get rid of? And immediately they're like, nothing. Like, I have to. Like my kids have to do this, have to do this. And she says to them,
mindset.
No, they don't. Like, and she said that that's the discomfort that a lot of women don't want to sit with, is actually having to face that and be like, no, your kids don't have to be in rep everything. No, your kids don't have to be in everything. Now listen, again, this might be a bigger thing because I'm getting heated, but it's like, I look at my niece and dance and she's incredible. She's talented. Like I'm not just saying that she could go so far in this, but I also think like at what point is enough enough? Like she dances six days a week from after school till night. Weekends are competitions, away, money. Like I just think of all these things and I love it for her. But at some point, it's like, when is enough enough? Like, if you're so depleted and so miserable, how is that enjoyable for anybody anymore?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so that's what she was saying. Is like, I think a lot of women have to really sit and get real with themselves and be like, is this worth it? Like, will my kids be any worse off if they're dancing 4 days a week instead of 6? Will they?
Exactly.
They need a regulated mom more than they need more dance or more sports,
Yep.
more of their
Totally
activities.
agree.
I don't know about you guys, but I watch a lot of those interviews of like, you know, people who are like in their 90s or even like 100, and they're like, what's your biggest regret in life? Or like, what do you wish? And it's always like that I was more present, that I had more time with my family. And you're not going to get that from just piling on like things that make you burnt out. Exactly.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Exactly. And you're going to have more quality like from you showing up as your best. So, and I think one thing I come back to is like my kids need me they really do need me to be my best. Like yesterday when I took my kids and their friend to the splash pad, and like 3 crazy boys, love them, but like we're in the heat, like it's just time to go. And then when we got home, they're like, hey, can you make us a snack? And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go eat my lunch and I'm going to make your food in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I
Nothing wrong
said,
with
you
that.
guys, I just said like, guys, I'm going to give you some water. You're going to go outside in the backyard because I'm overstimulated.
Yeah.
But I didn't say it in a mean way. I just said it in like, that's
You're
what's
like,
going to
I
happen.
need to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I ate my meal in peace and quiet. And I was like, okay, the house is quiet. I was like, I am not going to be in the kitchen, like being all loud and overstimulated. But that's the kind of micro decisions you got to make. Right?
I love this.
It's so true.
I love this. And I honestly think that this is like the best advice you could give any woman. I think that's brilliant.
And it's okay to say that. Like I've said many times when my kids are like, we want to do this, we want to do that. It's like, I'm going to work out first, or my favorite, but we're going to go to Starbucks. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and
exactly.
it's like you're essentially modeling the behavior now because that's what they're going to adopt when they're grown-ups, right? Like they're going to be like, we work out before we do this, or we're going to sit down and eat our meal before we do that, or this is like how we raise our children with this kind of schedule. You know what I mean? They're learning that from you now.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what like a lot of our clients are learning too, is like they're pattern interrupting moments. And that's why, Mare, from what you were saying, like is so interesting, is like sitting with that discomfort. Like you gotta be, when you're leveling up like this and you're reevaluating things, it is going to be so uncomfortable. The conversations are going to be uncomfortable because you'll have to talk to, you know, whoever's helping you, your partner, everybody's going to be in on that decision change. It will impact the kids because they'll be like, now their schedules may be a little bit different. 6 nights a week means that, you know, they're not in the house those times, but now they're going to be home more. How does that dynamic shift things? There's a lot to think through, but like if you get to be the best version of yourself, like, isn't that worth it? Like to me,
Completely.
that's a resounding yes.
Me too.
Exactly. And I have a good reflection question here for you listening. If your child grew up to be exactly the way that you're living right now, would you be proud of that, or would you want them to do it differently?
Oof.
And if you have daughters especially, does that answer change? So if you're thinking about this and your honest answer is, yeah, I would want them to do differently. I would want them to take care of themselves as well, or just to put themselves on the front burner. Then you already know that you need to make this change as well, just based on what we're talking about. And this is one of the most common things that we see with our clients. Like we said, like they'll spend a ton of time and money on their kids' sports and activities, but then it's the reframe that investing in themselves is not selfish that we work through. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, I'm ready to make this me season, I see the value in putting myself first, and you just don't know where to start, then this is exactly what we can help with. So if that sounds like you, go to getsculpted.ca/contact, and we'll learn a little bit about you and see if we can help. No matter if you're a hockey mom, a dance mom, team parents, we got you.
Yep. We do.
So Mara, I'd love if you could take this home for us, because the question is, how do we actually do this? How do women actually like make this happen tactically?
Yeah, I love this because like I said at the beginning of the episode, so many of our clients, I would say the majority of our clients are sports parents. So they're like deep in this life. And specifically right now, there are a lot of sports happening and they're making it work. They are hitting their goals and they're not just doing it. They're thriving despite being so busy. And the difference is it's not that they have more time. They definitely don't. The difference is that they have a plan. They're not winging it. They're not waiting, like we said, for the season to end or for the kids to be done this or that. They've built systems that are allowing them to be all in for their kids and all in for themselves. Okay, those two things can exist at the same time. But before we get into the strategy, it's important to talk about the mindset shift. Okay, because that is, like we talked about, that's the big reframe that has to happen. You have to stop separating mom mode from me mode. Those are not two different scenarios, like we've already outlined. Your goals have to come with you no matter where the situation takes you. Okay, whether it's the rink, the studio, a weekend away, these things are part of your life. So you have to plan for yourself with that same level of intention. And again, I keep thinking about this because it's so raw in my mind. The level of detail and the level of everything getting ready for like a competition weekend that I just saw is like down to the minute, down to the everything is like so managed. But I'm thinking, nothing is managed for you, right? So we want to walk through some strategies that you can use. And all of these have actually been inspired by women we work with. Okay, so these are things that real women are doing right now. The first one is around food. Okay, so this one kind of like simple, pack for yourself the way you would pack for your kid. So if you're making, snacks and all of that for your child, make a bag of food for yourself. Okay. And it can be easy options. Like I'm not suggesting have meals that you have to go microwave and have no, I'm talking about easy things. Hard-boiled egg. We've talked about this on other episodes, right? Like quick, easy foods like hard-boiled eggs, jerky, protein shakes, protein bars, like all these things are fine on a day or on a weekend where you don't have the luxury of making food. There's your food, okay? A reusable water bottle. You should be hydrating all the time. There's no excuse for that. There's no reason. There's bathrooms everywhere, okay? And an important rule to live by is like never go to these places, these tournaments, these competitions without food planned. Because I'll tell you one thing I saw was nobody packed food this past weekend, okay? And guess what there was at this beautiful venue? A full concession. Yeah. So I went to the concession. I will tell you what was there. Chips, croissants, muffins, poutine, pizza, chicken fingers and fries. It was all like really heavy processed foods and people were eating them over the 4 days. And everybody was saying at the end, you know what they were saying? My God, I just want a vegetable. My God, I feel so disgusting. Some of them were even like, I haven't pooped in 3 days. Yeah. So this is real. Okay. So pack your food.
Yeah, being in prep, like, I don't know about you, Mare, but it made me realize, like, you really can eat your own food anywhere. Like, and there's never a time when you can't. Like, when I was in prep, girl, I was,
100%.
The purse chicken. Not that I'm saying you need to do that, but yeah, all the time, I remember when even I was not in prep, but I was me and Brian both trained clients, so I'd come home and he leaves. Sometimes the only time to eat, I would be driving with one hand and eating beef and rice in the other hand.
Yeah. Yeah. But
the tools now are so good. Like you can get like a container that will keep your food hot and you can warm it up in the morning or at the hotel, put it in like the thermos and you can actually still enjoy a warm
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you could just make a salad.
I just feel like in this day and age, especially with things that are so easy to grab and go, plus those things that you just suggested, it really comes down to planning and preparing. It's not a matter of it's not possible. It's just like I said, if you're going to pack for your kids and make sure that everything is like meticulously planned, do it for yourself. Okay. Second strategy. This was the big one this weekend as well. Is move. Just move during practices, games, competition. There is more time in like these weekends or these days than most women realize where you can get movement in.
Totally.
So some venues even have like walking tracks or paths around or hallways. You can even use stairs, like going up and down stairwells, right? You can bring things too. Like you can bring your resistance bands. You can bring a set of dumbbells. Like we've seen it done with our clients. I have a client, Stephanie, who like she'll bring her dumbbells to the baseball diamond. And while her kids are doing their thing, she's like getting her 20-minute workout in. So anyway, there are things that you can do. When I was away this past weekend, my niece does a lot of dancing. I think she had like a dozen numbers. But think about it. We were there for like 4 days. Even if she had 10 numbers at like 4 minutes each. Like that,
there's a lot of downtime.
The time we were sitting. So I kept saying to my husband, I was like, let's go for a walk. Let's go do something. Because I was like, I don't want to. So we ended up going to the outlet mall and walking around. We just like did laps at the outlet mall.
Walking. Yeah.
Because she had a 6-hour break. But again, this is not judgment. I'm just observing. A lot of the parents sat there for 6 hours waiting from one dance to the next. And I'm like, do something.
It even happens with the activities. Like it's not even if your kid's just even in swimming lessons or, a half an hour, 45 or 60-minute program once or twice a week. Like it doesn't have to be even at the competitive level. It's happening at the like rec level where they're just sitting there. Like when Scar was in swimming lessons, I was like, there's like 45 parents just sitting there for the whole time. And I get it. maybe it's a long day and everybody's tired and all of that, and they just want to like check out and maybe read a book or scroll their phone or whatever. Okay, scroll and read for like 10 or 15 minutes, and the other time you could be like wandering around. Like there's such a good opportunity to repurpose that time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't do it because they're like, what if people look at me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's the last thing on my mind. I'm like, they should look at me and think it's good for her.
Yeah.
Or even if they think, why is she walking? Okay,
why not?
I'm getting my steps in. Yeah, I care more about me getting my steps in than what other people would think about me walking around in circles.
Totally.
And honestly, it's just like in the gym. Like most people are not looking at you.
They're not
concerned about themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if they do, why wouldn't you want to be someone who's in a position to influence and inspire?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, think of our community again. The women inspire one another. So anyway, George, take us through the next couple of strategies here.
Yeah, the next one kind of ties into the other. It's more just, I'll quickly summarize it. It's the 20-minute rule. It ties in very nicely with the movement conversation we just had. And it's like the idea that if there's like 30, 40, 60, 6-hour breaks, could you repurpose 20 minutes to do something, whether that's walking around, going up and down the steps. If you have a little bit more private area, maybe like grab your bands or a kettlebell or something and do something movement related for yourself. Possible for you to do the movement, then maybe there's something mindset related that you can work on.
That's
Check
a good
in
point.
with your coach. Listen to a podcast episode, read something that's going to be supportive. We have amazing modules that our clients are led through as they go through their journeys. None of them are longer than 10 minutes. Like you could plug into that, like learn something, decide how it's going to apply to your life, and be back there putting the towel on your kid after their swimming lesson. You could feel good about yourself. And the fourth one is the tournament or competition weekend strategy. So it's not just about like, what's that one day going to look like? If it's the whole weekend, you want to be able to have a plan for that weekend. So before you leave, commit to yourself. Okay, this is what we're doing. Packing the snacks, having a cooler. What are you going to do with like the hotel situation? I will walk clients through. Hey, this is what you're looking for when you're going away, whether it's for this type of trip or, even a vacation. Pick a hotel with a gym, even small ones, even the crappiest ones that have like only cardio equipment. They still have them and a ball, but you can bring your bands with you. And, we do that all the time, adjust people's workouts to accommodate, and it's perfect. And then the last piece I'll say is decide on your plan relative to alcohol. We have an episode coming up later this month that will tie very well into this, like a super deep dive. But decide before you go, because everybody else in that environment is going to be like, oh, let's have a drink to celebrate, or let's burn off some stress or whatever. And if you go in with like an agreement with yourself, I'm only going to have 2 drinks this weekend, or I'm not going to have any, whatever your threshold is, I think it's important to have that, because that's what's going to help you build confidence and honor the goals that you have in a bigger scale.
Love that.
T, you want to take us through the next few?
Absolutely. So this kind of ties in, but the community at the venue. So connecting with other like-minded people or creating your own circle. So this came to mind. We have a circle of 3 clients that we work with right now that they actually have a group since they joined with us called Hot Dance Moms.
Woo!
And I know. I love that. And they're all
So
absolutely
cute.
crushing it. And that's why it's so important to like align yourself with the right people, because if you know them already, even better. But like, I'm willing to bet you're going to notice when you start doing these things, you might be like, hey, that other person always walks too. Like, I know this lady,
what I'm saying.
This lady at my kid's karate, like I was talking to her and right away, I'm like, girl, you look great. Like I could tell she lifts, like her arms are ripped. And that's like our connection, right? Because it's like, you are prioritizing things like I am. And if you notice those people, you can start that conversation, create that circle. You might even create that group chat, the sports, the dance moms who walk or whatever.
Hot dance moms. I love it.
The hot dance moms. It can be like a thing. Or like you could connect with other people who are on that journey and like, bring them into your world one way or another. But
I love that.
That's going to help you amplify your own success. And okay, the next one is to create a non-negotiable list. So these are your BAMs, what we call your bare ass minimums. You want to pick like 3 things that are going to be your constant no matter what. Life might throw you a curveball, but you're always going to do these. So it could be like, I start my day with protein, or I don't skip breakfast. I hit at least 8,000 steps a day. That's my minimum. And that could be like, or even across the weekend, you could say like, I don't know, 30,000 steps in 3 days or whatever.
Right.
Aim to do 2 to 3 strength sessions. And I'm a big fan of this. I call them placeholder workouts, where like, you're not aiming to hit PRs, but like you're you're going to do them. Like you're
Yeah.
going to, I if you guys know me, I almost never, tell my clients like, hey, don't work out at all. Like, especially if there's a gym there, it doesn't need to be 60 minutes. It can be 20 or 30 minutes. It can be like modified.
Totally.
Jordan, like you said, like the small dumbbells they have in the hotel, whatever, but you're keeping that commitment in your schedule, and you're telling your brain like, this is just part of what we do. Like, this is not what we do in perfect conditions.
That's right.
And so you're going to write these down, these non-negotiables, put them in your phone, look at them, like review them before you go for that weekend. And then treat them like your kid's practice schedule. Like put them in. Better get put them in your own calendar. So everything is in there. Non-negotiable is non-negotiable. And then finally, like get support of someone to take out this guesswork, like a coach who's going to build that plan for you. Because when you're trying to figure out your own stuff on top of figuring out your family stuff, you're already stretched thin. And that's probably going to be more likely to give. And we know that that hasn't been working for you. And that's what's going to lead to that burnout. So we're all big fans of delegating, right? Like you have a cleaner come clean your house, or maybe you have like a nanny, maybe you have support in other areas. You get the meal delivery, the HelloFresh, whatever it is. Having a coach is just alleviating that decision fatigue for yourself and getting the right support. So you don't have to do all this MacGyvering that's not helping you anyway. You just focus on the execution. And the clients that we have that are living full lives, they have the dance, the hockey, all the rest, on top of the demanding careers, they're not doing it alone. And that is their secret sauce. They're not transforming in isolation, because it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like, I kind of know what to do, and like I have a system and I have an actual strategy, and not one that works for someone who like has no kids and they're not in dance or hockey or whatever. Right. So you need a strategy that's for you and the life that you're living. So if you're thinking like, I think I know what I should be doing, but like, how do I even make this happen? Again, we want to invite you to apply with us, because this is exactly what we help our clients with. So just a reminder, we're going to leave that in the show notes. All right, Marilyn, take us home.
Yes. Okay. So after all that, I feel like we could talk for even longer about this, but this is really what we want you to remember. You can be the most devoted mom or caregiver at the rink, the studio, the field, wherever you are, but you can also be the most depleted woman in your own life. And that is what we do not want. The reality is nobody's going to come and stop you from doing these things. No one's going to step in and remind you. Like we said, you're kind of modeling to your family the expectations that you have. So you have to be the one to do that. You have to plan for yourself the way you plan for your kids. And your kids don't need you to disappear from them. What they need is for you to model this strong, healthy lifestyle. Okay. The story we've been told is that being a mom or caregiver means that you have to put yourself last. Hopefully this episode has helped you understand that is not the truth. You're allowed to be a great mom and a woman with her own goals at the same time. Those things should never compete. In fact, they should reinforce each other. The strongest moms and caregivers we know are not the ones who give until there's nothing left. They are the ones who stay full. So what they have to give is actually theirs to give. Okay. So that's what we want to leave you with today. We hope that you got some insight. Maybe you'll put some of those action steps in place. And as always, we want to thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And we can't wait to chat with you next week on the Get Sculpted podcast.
See you next one.